Hello. Today's Sunday, September the 10th. Just want to make a video about all the latest updates and stuff that's been going on in the world. So, Bank of Canada raised the interest rates another percent, or another quarter percent. October, they're probably going to raise it one more percent, I would think. Just one more. And then they'll leave it alone for a while. But there's so much more involved in why the why this is happening. Like, it's not what happened is they've gotten down to almost 0% interest rates, and those interest rates make make everybody spend and borrow and make everything go up and up and keep the inflation rate high, right? Because the banks need us spending and buying things to be able to make profit. And they're making it with lower interest rates. They're making more money off of what we're spending because they're still gaining interest from us. Plus, we're spending more using their credit cards, so they start driving the interest rates up a little bit because they know that, according to this news that I've been reading, they know that the consumers aren't spending as much anymore, which that's what happens when a country starts to realize that the interest rates are going to go up, and that so they don't want to consume as much anymore. It's a natural instinct, right? So anyway, they've got to raise interest rates up quickly because they use interest rates to recover when things slow down, when the consumer stops spending and everything slows down. They use that interest rate to pick consumerism back up. So if they can get at least a 1 point, close to 1 point, they're at 1 point right now, but if they can get one more point higher, within a short period of time, then they'll have about close to 2 points interest rate to be able to lower, to make people feel like they can start consuming again because the interest rate is lower. So that's how a country recovers from depressions and recessions and things like that, is by lowering interest rates. And our interest rates have been going down since the 80s. So now they need to bring them back up, but they're not going to do it for long. They'll only, because they won't be able to raise the interest rates because people will just stop spending and it'll slow down too much. So they'll start bringing them down again. Anyway, one of the things that I'm wanted to talk about also is the everybody going away from the American dollar, right? You've got Venezuela, from what I hear, is now threatened to start selling their oil in a different currency, a currency that's a little bit lower. So if anybody recalls, there's a couple of times when people throughout history where people wanted to leave the petrodollar, they call it, that everything's sold, oil sold in American dollars, because it makes the American currency so strong. And the problem is everybody's got devalued currencies in the world. So now they're starting to get upset that they're having to spend so much for importing things, right? And so let me keep on track. There's a lot involved. There's a lot that people don't understand, so I have to keep it slow and interesting if nobody's ever read into any of this kind of stuff. But so that's what's going on. Venezuela is leaving. The last couple of countries that left in history, as I was saying, were, during war times. Then Saddam Hussein left the American dollar and started trading his oil in, I don't know what he traded it in off the top of my head, but and then look what happened to their country, right? And same Libya, as Gaddafi was allowed to do everything that he was doing to his people until he decided that he was going to leave the dollar, the American dollar. His country was going to leave the American dollar and start selling their oil and something else. So right now what you have is you have Venezuela that's going to be leaving the dollar, American dollar. You've got China, India, Pakistan. There's 5 other nations over there, and I created this this new World Bank that they're calling it, and they're going to back it by gold. So they want to develop oil or a currency that's backed by gold, so that they'll start selling their oil in this new currency that's backed by gold. And the American dollar is backed by debt, so you can imagine what's going to happen, right? You're going to have the American dollar that starts to get lower because everybody's pulling out of the American dollar because it's not the strongest dollar anymore, and they're going to start trading in this gold-backed currency because obviously the United States and Canada, I guess, we have no gold left in Canada. They sold it off last year. So the only currency that we could use would be a debt-based currency, which I think this was a really dumb part on Canadian government's side to sell off all our gold. But so the only thing that we can hope for is that people will want a debt-based currency based primarily on debt, like maybe they're going to try and throw cryptocurrencies in there, like all those digital currencies and all that kind of stuff, and create almost a debt-based currency that's just digital. And pretty much everybody's digital now anyway. Like I use cash. I use nothing but money. That's my priority in life, is to use nothing but money, and I've been doing it for 3 years now. It's an amazing thing once you get used to it. And but anyway, or we go to the digital currency. So this is the reason for all the hustle and war talk and all that kind of stuff. And as everybody knows, North Korea is on the border with China. China backs North Korea, and so the United States will never be able to go and attack North Korea. So a war like that isn't going to happen, because the United States and Canada, we don't want a war with China and Russia, and that's all there is to it. So nobody has to worry about a war in that sense, but they do have to worry about currency war, which is who's going to win. And I mean, I hope it's us. I don't want to go to a digital currency, but if we could make the switch over to a gold standard currency, we'd be a lot better off in the future, because I think that's what's going to win, is the gold-backed currency. And right now we don't have any gold, so we'll get high inflation, right? We'll get like what's happening in Venezuela. They've got 100% inflation rate. People can't afford to buy food down there. But we'll definitely hit something like that, where the inflation rate goes up and we have a stagnated period while we go through a transition from an American dollar-backed currency to a gold-backed currency set in the yuan, or Russian ruble, or a basket of currencies, right? A basket of different those 5 countries together is going to make up currency. And I don't think it's going to be Bitcoin. I think if anything, the Canadian and Americans will want to have a Bitcoin currency that's backed by nothing. So you got to watch out for that. You don't want a currency backed by nothing, because it gets manipulated, just like our currency right now the money is free for them to make, and they make interest on loaning us that money. So it's definitely something that we do not want to get back into if we have the chance to get out of. Anyway, thanks for listening, and have a good day. And remember, these are only my opinions. They are based on knowledge of things that I read. But again, it's not a lot of stuff that people really know anything about. So if you're interested, share it. If you like it, and let me know, because I wouldn't mind doing more of these videos. All right, bye.